I know this is very heavy for a Friday, and you guys have already had 3 massive sessions, so um, hopefully we can continue this. Any questions first to start with? Like, what do you guys want to know? You know, like I can change the presentation any way I want. The easy way. Anything else? Oh, then turn the laptop off. Bring the hula girls in. Right. Y- Correct. So you mean to say how to bring them to the decision tree? Yes, it's any way that you can. I mean, run a newspaper ad if you have to. Go to this website. Okay, so how they get to your decision tree really doesn't matter. How to do it the easy way. All right. Okay, so this is the hair one that I just showed. You know the big ugly map I showed from the trichologist? Okay, so when I finally made the software to capture the data, this is what it looks like inside. It doesn't look very good, but I assure you on my screen it does look better. And basically, if you know, how happy is your hair is the question. So if I just click that, that's my title. It's got an image of a lady. It's got a bunch of stuff, and it's got a question and a button. All right. So that's basically. Now, how to add that? You just go add, and I'm gonna. Okay, I should do it over here. All right. So I'm just gonna drag and drop. The minute you drag and drop your question, it pops up, what kind of question do you want? So there's a list of questions, multiple choice, checkbox, telephone number, all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to put multiple choice. Correct. This is the way you're going to create a question on LeadsHook, yes. Correct. Correct. Well, actually, I didn't do it. The trichologist who gave me that problem to solve, she made it. I just happened to be the conduit, so to speak, to take the concept and the idea and turn it into software, which has been a nightmare. But anyway, all right, so are you a man or a woman? That's my question. And I'm just going to say man and add an answer at the bottom there. And that says woman, right? And all I do is I just go ahead and save it. That's my question done. Right, that's all there is to it. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like. So we're going to see this, and then we're going to go down this path here. So I'm just going to. That's just a preview. Right now, the reason why it looks a little bit weird is because it's sitting on the actual website on which it's sitting has got different colors in the background. So I've got transparency and all this sort of stuff. So that site looks good, but this is the demo version doesn't appear too good. And basically, yeah. So. This was me doing a demo where some guys like, can you put a video? So what's your natural hair type? The actual website, I think, let me bring that up actually. Let's see if it's, that might be it. Cool. Right, cool. So that's what it actually looks like. And this is just me, because it's a demo one, so I've got, it's sitting on a demo site, this one. All right, what's your natural hair type? Has straight, wavy, curly. If I go curly, it'll say which of the hair problems do you have. So I have dyed hair, I use a blow dryer. I spend lots of time in the sun. Next, I have thin hair, dry hair, and damaged hair. I'll show you why I'm doing that in a second. Oops. Next. This is the long form copy that I wrote, and the reason why this one worked really well is because I found that it dropped the opt-in rate, but it improved the conversion. Because I was trying to sell them why you can't find the product they're about to see in the next page in a store. Because when I did the research, I found that people were like, well, if it's so good, how come it's not available in Maya or something? So I said, I need to deal with that somehow. So I wrote, what did I write here? It says, good question, department store products are generally made for a massive volume of sales, generally backed by a large marketing budget and a celebrity who allegedly uses the product. Yeah, that's to deal with the objection. I'm dealing with it on this page here. But some of the best products are made by science-obsessed product developers. These are almost always never found in stores and are usually quite exclusive because they are produced in small batches. Our research team travels the world to find these products, and on a rare occasion, we offer these to you. All right? And that's basically me dealing with an objection before they opt in. So once again, just, I guess, using the example, I just want to show you guys that it is an iterative product. I didn't just come up with this, one day, just sat down and said, let me whip this up. No, it's based on feedback, research, going back to the list, asking them more questions, one-on-one interviews. And it was an off-the-cuff comment. One lady called me up. She goes, this sounds amazing, too good to be true, blah, 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 blah. How come I can't get in David Jones? I'm like, that's a damn good question. Yeah, I was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. Let me go fix the website. And it is true, because you know what? To get into Maya and David Jones, you need to pay line fees and all the other stuff. They don't just put you on the shelf because you're the best product. No, they put you on the shelf because you've paid for the shelf space. That's how the whole game works. So I needed to deal with that objection somehow. So this is how I'm dealing with it. And so I tell them about being exclusive, all this stuff, and I'm just going to put Nick and my trusty email there, mycrappyemails@gmail.com. Please email me there. All right. So your hair results. All right. Now, because this was a demo, I was writing some notes on it as well, that this page is dynamic generated to only show content relevant and related to the answers. And basically, I also haven't activated the so if you activate the social media functions, it'll put big sharing buttons and stuff on it, so you can share so a person can share their own results into social media as well to create a viral loop that comes back. All right. So in this case, I had picked that I have. What did I pick? I think I had picked curly hair, so I've got my curly hair here. This is a demo site, so I've been messing around with it. That's why the background doesn't look too good. And then I had picked the sun one, blow drying. I think I had picked thin hair. So it's giving me answers only for what I selected in my answers. There's no other content there that has nothing to do. And all it's doing, it's like a mail merge in this example. And so that's, so basically it's picking up the answers and the results you've attached to those answers and putting it onto a dynamic generated page. And of course, you can add the product recommendation down here. Now, I'll share with you what that looks like. So let's go in back, not there, back in here. And okay, so if I go natural hair type, you just scroll down. You see that bit there? That's, I'm calling the result. That's the bit of copy that'll show up if you pick that answer. If you don't pick that answer, it won't show up. And that's the second bit of copy. So if you pick, what's that? That's wavy hair. So if you pick wavy hair, you'll get that piece of copy. If you pick curly hair, then you'll get that piece of copy. And if you pick coily hair, then you get that piece of copy. Right? So basically, based on the answer you select, it's piecing it together. Now, if I go into my next question, which is the second one here, the checkbox one. This one here is same thing. It's got an image and also the bit of copy that goes with it. And so if you select that answer, so if you select that that one there is, I have dyed, highlighted, bleached, permed, or relaxed hair, then it'll give you that result because it matches up to that. Now, this is only one way of doing it. You can do points as well. So if you want to have people score things. Now I'm going to show you a chart one that I've done. So let me just quickly go through to, I think it's, actually before I do that, let me show you guys a real crazy one. This is a client who made it so big that they couldn't work out what they were doing. Check this out. Look at that. How's that for market segmentation? Try that on SurveyMonkey. That's how you invalidate your competition. All right, so basically, that's a really big one that the person made, and then they're working out how to do dynamic. So this one generates, it's got so many formulas and functions that it generates a whole lot of stuff, quite personalized, very, very good effort. It's quite amazing that when you give someone a tool and they do things that you never thought was possible, and you go like, holy shit, you can do that too? And so that's been the best part about making this software, actually, is I'm learning more about what's possible than from people who are using it, actually, which is quite nice. All right, so let's look at the next one, which is social media. Oh, perfect, okay. So let me see if I can bring that up. Social media. Okay. Social media IQ. This is another real one. I made this for a agency. You get a personalized IQ chart that pinpoints your weaknesses and a personalized plan of action to enhance your skills to become a world-class social media marketer. They wanted to teach some course, I think it was on social media. So click here to get started. Right. So your sales and marketing team work together to form a cohesive marketing plan, which includes online, offline marketing. And hi, I'm John. This is once again me messing around with it by adding in. So one of the things you can also do in LeadSook is you can add a field anywhere you want. So in most systems, they'll have an exclusive form sitting somewhere where you kind of answer a bunch of questions and you have a form. In LeadSook, there's no need for you to have even a form. You can add form fields anywhere you want. So you can very nicely split up your form across multiple questions and make it less weird. So that way they don't feel like they're having to give you all this data. So if I've got a name over here, I've just captured the name. If I say, if you're looking for a free report at the end of this, enter your email. I've got a client who's adding an email right on the first page saying you're going to get a free bonus, add your email here. Email done. If they ever leave, you've still got them, you can email them and bring them back. We also cookie the hell out of you to see where you left off. So that way we'll bring you back exactly halfway through the decision tree if that's where you are. Yep. All right, so Nick, yes. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go through. So see, I've just added in, that's me paraphrasing right there. Okay, so let's just go through. I'm going to click a whole bunch of yeses and nos. And I want to show you guys the end of this. Now this is a multi-choice question. So there you go, a multiple choice, checkbox one, sorry. So I can select all that apply. Next. Yes. No. No. By the way, these are real questions, and this was using the 1 hour method. All I did was I picked up skills required in social marketing or social media marketing, and a whole bunch of articles came up. I opened up a new page, and they started talking about a well-mapped strategy. So I just take that and turn it into a question. Yeah. All right, so now your social, so once again, I'm writing a note here because it's a note to someone that I'm doing a demo, okay? So this is not, normally you wouldn't add that. I'm just kind of adding in explanation notes throughout it. So as I'm doing a demo, I'll kind of remind myself what to say. Now you're seeing a chart that is generated on the fly, okay? So that's basically a chart like this. So this chart was just made on the fly, and it's used my results and everybody else's results who's ever taken this chart. And it's charted you on the 5 core skills of social media marketing, which is strategy, technical, community, analytics, and the revenue potential. You know how to monetize your social media campaigns. And so it's mapped you. Now I know what answers you gave me and what your rating is. So in this case, your community, well, in the random answers I selected, ended up being that I suck at building a community. So now the conversation can be about, you know, it's not your fault. You just got one piece missing, and we need to work on that first. So your autoresponder sequence can be about building their community skills. And not just that, they've identified for themselves where their weakness is. So they own their problem now as well. And so it ends up kind of, it's a much nicer way to market to someone. Right, now I'm going to show you how that is made by going to, all right, I'm just going to deactivate this. And same thing, it's just a, let me just reduce the size. So there you go, just got a bunch of questions. I've got, put it in a little bit of a square box rather than going all the way down so I don't have to scroll. Basically, that's where it starts. From here, it goes back this way, come back down, blah, blah, blah. This one is not a tree, just a couple of straight questions, and gives you the dynamically generated content. And on the content, you saw that there was a chart, which is right over here. It's chart 1. So now I'm going to show you how I built the chart. Admin, charts, and that's the first one there. Edit. And in that, basically, I've put my fields in, and I've put my fields. So I'm collecting this data about you, your strategy, your technical skills, analytical skills, revenue potential. And if I just go into configuration, I go and set my colors up, all this sort of stuff. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, legend and tooltips and layout. And that basically is generating a chart on the fly by capturing the data in a custom field of the answers that you just gave. Cool. So once again, it's all inclusive in the one thing. Any questions on this while I'm? Yeah.
So it shows the results on that in a results page.
Correct.
Can you match with them as well?
Yes, you can do that. Yes. So what it does, for every page that's created, we create an HTML version of it. So it's called the results link. You just push it into the next. In the next update we're doing, we're going to turn that into, give you the option to turn that into PDF, and you can push that link through to your autoresponder system, and then you can email them the PDF version of that, which we generate and store for you. Yeah.
So do we go in there and create forms?
Yeah, so you can go and create forms. I'll show you a form example. So let me just go in here. So you're an agency, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing it for a client, then you do it for them. But if you're doing it for yourself, then you do it for yourself. Does that make sense?
So you do it yourself, though, you go in there.
Correct. Yes. So the value add. Okay. So just one sidestep. I've got a few clients now that are doing fairly complex ones. So I'll show you one what that looks like. So check this one out. Right, it's got stuff going all over the place. This one dynamically generates a lot of stuff at the bottom. It's got a few decision nodes and all this sort of stuff. And that one there, she charges about anywhere from 7 to 10 grand to a client to do it. So because to get the custom coded is about $10,000 to $15,000 because of the complexity of the paths that are running through it. It's not just straight line, right? It's not just 5 pages you're putting together. But then even if you could do a whole bunch of pages, how are you going to do the dynamic content that's happening at the end, which is based on a whole bunch of results and answers? So it kind of gets into too hard basket to do it manually, which means the value to, but she has a whole process of how she captures the data about the client, she makes it. So I was talking to her and I said to her, you better not deliver this too fast. She goes, why? I said, the client will think that, you just kind of made it. I said, you take the money, you take 2 weeks off, and then you deliver the product. because you're done in an hour, if that. Because she's done about 20 of these, she pumps them out like candy now. The first one, obviously, you're learning the software, you're learning how the whole thing works. Your brain quite hasn't, wrapped the connections yet. But then your 4th, 5th one, you're basically cloning an existing one, which is we have a button for you to clone. You clone away, and make changes, a handful of changes, and you're done. So that's basically how that's how I'm doing it. That's how I do it. Yeah, any other questions? Nope. Cool. All right. Anything else that you guys want to see with regards to this stuff? And not just software related. Any questions about lead gen, how to work at volume? All right. Then we'll go back to our PowerPoint. What I'll do is I'll move through all this stuff. Just go straight to strategy. Here you go. Oh no, Julie's gone. She wanted to know about the double decoy daisy chain. She goes, sounds like Dolly Parton. As in, okay. All right. So the way to set this up, the patterns that you can do with this, all right? So in this case, we've got our questions. You give a results page. So notice there's no form here. And the reason why you're doing that is because we're going to give them a payoff and a reciprocity. So you've asked a bunch of questions. I'm giving you some results. Then you position, you basically on that page, when you give the results, you say, well, imagine how good we'd be or how good the results would be if we knew a little bit more about you. Then you ask a few more questions, and then you say, here's giving your name and email and your results. And why that works is because you've earned the trust over here. And so then that way the opt-in rates are much, much, much higher. Right? Please stop me and ask questions, okay? Because there's only a handful of us now, so it doesn't really matter. Just absolutely. Do you? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay, so why would someone want to get the form? Okay, perfect. Is your property organized, or is your property portfolio organized to get every tax benefit there is, or whatever? So then your questions would be about, do you have split loans, and do you have, I don't know, whatever else property people do to get an optimized portfolio. Then you can rate them, saying, you're only like 20% of what's potential, and as a result, sign up or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, in your case, because the value proposition is so compelling, you probably don't even need that. Yeah. So, because, say for example, if they put down the issues that they're having about their property, and they give you the current size of the property portfolio, and maybe they gave you their loan amount, you can mathematically calculate, because we've got formulas within LeadsHook, that you can say, well, hang on a second, based on what you just told me, you're sitting on, I don't know, X thousands of dollars worth of free equity or free benefits or free whatever. Yeah, let's extract that out. Let's make some money out of this free money that's sitting that you're wasting. And that sort of a positioning wouldn't need any of this kind of wizardry. Yeah. But it's there for you if you were to work in a market where the trust is not there and you want to do this sort of a thing. Okay, so I'm kind of showing you slightly complicated use cases, so you kind of give you a flavor for how flexible. There you go. There's your double D. I was watching Kung Fu movies when I was making this, so the names are a little bit crazy. It's a zero opt-in form technique. Okay, that's what I explain later. Basically, what you do is you split your forms, your fields that you want on your form across the questions, and that way it's a very granular progression, and you give a reason why you want them to fill out that form, and so if you want to get 5 or 6 fields, then you'll be better off to split it across all your questions. That way it's the friction's not there. Like, oh my God, I got to fill 5 fields rather than 1 each. Making it easy. The no selling strategy. All right, so this one here is the questions. You can have the form if you want to. You don't have to have the form. Then the results page, you reveal the problems and the solution in the result because the questions reveal to you what their problems were. Okay, just go straight for the sale. A lot of affiliate guys are doing this sort of stuff where the results page is dynamically generated an affiliate offer that matches the problems they just gave you in the questions. Cool? Yes? All right. The ultra personalization method. This is the paraphrasing bit. As they go down every step, you keep telling them about what you just learned about them. So almost like, the furniture store, you rock up and the guy's like, want to buy outside furniture, inside furniture. You say outside, and he's like, well, do you live in an apartment or a house? And it says, well, I live in a house. And, well, do you have a backyard? And it's like, yeah, what's the color scheme? Blah, blah, blah. What are the... It's like, as someone with a big backyard and who likes to entertain people, what are your preferences in the color scheme? And so that way, it's a bit hard to leave now because, like, you're a bit vested into the process. The list enrichment method. You pass the email. You should say pass the URL via the email, not the other way around. You can't pass email via URLs. So, and then there's no need to ask for anything because they're already on your list. You can pass all the fields within the URL parameters, and we capture that data immediately. So then that way they go to the decision tree, they answer a whole bunch of questions and answers, and we automatically push them back out. So there's no form to ask for, there's no name to ask for because you already got all the data. So yes. Where do you want it to go? Absolutely. That's the whole point. I don't want it. Yeah, you have to buy it off me, that's right, after you do all the work. All right. The rapid phone response method. This is if you want to convert over the phone. I worked with a company, they do a home and land package kind of a thing, real estate, where you're not going to email them. Thank you. You're going to email them about buying a home and land package, or if you're a financial planner, you're probably better off hitting them on the phone right away. So as soon as they go through the decision tree, you can put as many email addresses as you want, and I'll show how that works. Oops. Nope. There you go. Enter as many email addresses as you want there, and we'll email all the data we've just captured about the person to as many email addresses as you want. So for example, if you have 5 sales guys, you can just put the 5 sales guys' emails in there. It'll hit the inbox right away while sending it to your CRM system, whatever else that you have. So if you want to be super fast, because some guy said to me, because I want to hit them within seconds. So I'm like, all right, well, we won't wait for the CRM thing to tell you about it, whatever. We'll just email you direct. And they're like, all right, fine. So that's how we do that. So we'll pass all the data we've captured, name, email, whatever they've given you, including all the questions and answers, directly into your inbox. All right. The micro-permission method, this is me doing micro-segmentation. As you can see, the open rate, 60%, 30%, 80%. So you really do get nosebleed open rates if you stop broadcasting, because you're only talking to people who matter, who want to hear their message. The Facebook avalanche technique. Ooh. All right, so you go through the decision tree without a form. Okay, so you go straight all the way down. You present a results page, which is your dynamic general lead magnet. You add the customs fields to the Facebook events. Okay? So if you say male, we'll pass male to Facebook. If you say female, we'll pass female to Facebook. If you say I'm 22, we'll pass 22 to Facebook. So now Facebook starts building a huge list of all the events, much like tags on whatever system you use, Entreport or whatever. So all those events are sitting within Facebook for you to then remarket to. So I helped a guy out in the debt market. What they were doing was passing. So the ad said, I think, something to the effect of no email required and no name required. Oh, sorry, no personal details required, I think it said. That's okay. We're still capturing all the data about you, and then you remarket them. So if they said that they have $800,000 in debt, then you can say that this is how people with $800,000 in debt can do with their money, kind of a thing. So you're matching now very tightly to the data you've captured. So the first round is just to grab a broad data set, and then you run a remarketing campaign to get the micro data set. Okay, so you have the Facebook pixel. Okay, so in the Facebook pixel, you'll see something called page view, okay, which basically tracks every time you go view a page. Now, Facebook also has about 9 other standard events: add to cart, view content, lead, and there's a bunch of others. And so those events tell Facebook what's happening on your site. So the view content one is how you can basically say that when they've come to you and they've said that they're a male, you can pass that to the event called view content, but you put mail in it rather than the page they viewed. So now you've got a rich set of events sitting in Facebook to say that, these are the kind of people that came through. Where that gets really powerful is not even the remarketing. That's phase one. The bigger game to play is the lookalikes that you do after you learn what your real market looks like. So let's say 6 months from now, you've been tracking all this stuff, and you say, you know what? I've done enough sales. I've sold to about 400 people. Let me see what do they look like. And you go, okay, cool. Let me get all the data back out. And they're all guys, all in their 40s, and they all drive Harleys, for example. All right. Those 3 Facebook events are waiting for you inside Facebook. You can do a lookalike on just those 3 things if you want to. And then you see how you go. Normally you'll blow up your campaign because Facebook will find many people like that. Cool, does that kind of make sense, how that one? Yep, all right. Okay, thank you page. If you present a decision tree on the thank you page for an offer that you're making. So let's say, for example, you're selling something on ClickBank, for argument's sake. On the thank you page, you can present a decision tree that they can go through to sell them more stuff. Right? So, you already got them. You might as well give them something else to buy. The dynamic content presentation, you help your leads and customers consume better. So this is post-sale. Okay, so now we're looking at the use case after they've bought from you. Say you've got a course on, okay, this will apply really well for the academy. The academy. Are you listening, the academy? Thank you. All right, so you present a decision tree as soon as they enter the academy. And you learn about who they are. Okay, so how many Facebook campaigns have you run? 1 through 10. Do you know Google AdWords? Do you know this? Do you know that? Do you have a team? And all of a sudden, you can present to them a highly customized training program. Yeah, cool. But this does it better, you know that, right? So that's to help them consume their content better or help them take the next step. It doesn't have to be just content, can be whatever the next steps are. So you've just learned a whole bunch about them, they've just bought from you, or they've just gone through decision tree. You can present another decision tree within a decision tree if you want to. Cool. Any questions? All right. Product selector, if you run an e-com store, you've got many products to sell, and a common question you get is, I don't know what to buy. There's like about 50 things sitting over here. What do I do? Well, take them to decision tree, right? That's exactly what a salesman does when you walk into a retail store. What are you looking for? Well, normally they say, you're right. And then, they can ask you about what specifics you want, about, whatever you're looking for. And then they'll say, well, based on what you just told me, these are the 3-4 things you can buy. So you can do the same thing in the virtual sense to help them buy. Because normally it's quite confusing for most people if they come to a site and they don't have enough knowledge to make the decision. They'll actually bounce. So rather than making them work out for themselves what they need, just give them a much easier way to find out for themselves what they need. So in this case, your results now is the offer that you're going to make or what product they should buy. Okay, so CPA, anyone doing CPA marketing here? CPA? Affiliates? All right, cool. CPA, all right. I've got some big CPA guys doing this stuff. So you create a daisy chain of questions, and on the results page, you present your offer. And then you ask them more questions. And you present an offer. And you ask more questions. And you present the offer. And you just keep doing it. And sometimes you'll have guys who go down 5 steps, 4 steps, and each time they do it, but the offer now you're giving them on the results page is relevant to the answers they just gave you. So essentially you're creating monetization paths for multiple offers rather than just one. Cool, any questions? All right. Reviving dead lists. Working with a company right now, they're just going to companies saying, do you have a list of customers you haven't mailed in a couple of weeks or a couple of months? And they'll say, do you want to do rev share? And basically, a revenue share. And then they'll just do a 2 to 3 step email or direct mail campaign that drive it into a decision tree, and then they'll go and sell them products, and they'll share in the revenue. This one's probably the lowest hanging fruit I've seen so far, because everybody has got a list of customers that they don't email to. They want more leads rather than selling to their existing customer list. It's crazy. All right, so this just a short diagram to explain to you that this applies whether you're an affiliate who wants to do an advertiser product or an advertiser who's trying to get affiliates. You can either way. It works. We can do all the. This was a campaign that I helped someone on JVZoo. First, she was an affiliate, and that worked. And then she's like, I'm an advertiser now. Can you help me track my affiliates? And I'm like, sure. So we went both ways. So that works for affiliates as well as advertisers or vendors. All right. Now, don't let software limit your creativity. That's the whole point, which is why leads. I don't promote any method as such, or I don't have a process, any specific one. You know your market better than I ever will. So bring your creativity to the table. See how would you like to set this thing up, and use your creativity to create whatever the hell you want. You're just dragging and dropping boxes. And in non-linear domain, which is kind of reality, you don't let anyone else method, formula, process, system limit you. And it's about finding things that work. It's not about finding things that work, it's about finding things that don't work because of the infinite possibilities. So you're kind of chipping away at what didn't work to get to what works. And the true cost is actually not implementing your creativity. Like if you're always seeking somebody else's method and process, then you are leaving a lot of money on the table because you know about your market more than anybody else does. Yeah, so all you do is, if you've got a bunch of lists, or a list of customers or leads or that you haven't dealt with previously, just mailing that list with a specific email sequence can revive them, or revive as much as possible. Yeah, there is, yeah. Right, and then success is lumpy. So you can go fail, 10x. That's just how it works. So if you're not willing to, if you're going to quit, most people quit, I think, just before they make the big one. Because this doesn't work. Like, no, you just haven't gone enough iterations yet. Yeah, so I'd probably say that's the secret. To kind of hang in there, keep taking small bets. Yes? Oh, for your email list? It depends on what your goal is. Like if you're using it as a way to just keep your list engaged, yeah, then do it every week. But if you're using it as a tool to learn more about them, then whenever you want to have an offer, it's your business. So you work out when you want to do it. There's no rules as such. I've got clients that mail the same damn thing every week, So whatever you want, basically. And the last way to apply decision trees is your imagination. Like don't think I have all the answers or anybody else has the answers. You know your market better than anybody else. And if you put it together, so use decision trees to mine the data. That's all you're doing. You're just becoming a data capture machine. But in this case, you're capturing proprietary data. Okay, that's data that no one else will ever have. And I can't explain how powerful that is because today's presentation is not about data. But if it was, I would show you guys how. What is the value of Facebook? It's data. What's the value of Google? It's data. It's just all data. So, in fact, Time Magazine just came out with an article where they said that the world's most precious commodity now is data, not oil. And so the better you become at data mining, or how to use this data, the more profitable you can become. The bigger opportunity is, think about how many businesses there that have all this data sitting inside of them, whether it be in Google Analytics or their own systems, but they've never done anything with. You know what to do with data. If you go to buy that business, they'll give you a multiple of current profit. But if you know how to use that data, you've just made that money back the minute you bought the business. Because you know exactly how to mash it up and use it, while most people don't. And that's the lowest hanging fruit that I can say, especially within the small to medium market. Because all these businesses are sitting with data, but they don't know what to do with it. Right, so you do dynamic microsegmentation, you find uncovered markets, which gives you higher and longer payoffs. Because you're running decision trees with multiple paths, very hard to find out what you're doing. unless someone comes into your business and kind of gets the picture of your decision tree. Allows you to do more experiments. This is where you fail more. But because you're making more, you can afford to fail more. And as you fail more, you get a higher customer life because you're learning more about your customer list. Gives you higher customer lifetime value. You just create a business worth buying. And that's the whole point of doing all this stuff. It's not about because I want you to have high opt-in rates or get more leads. It's build a damn thing that's worth selling and sell it. And thank you.